everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Phylly. Welcome to the People's Channel. This is where we are all about the people over here. We reading transcripts. We solving cold cases. We doing whatever we want to do because it's my channel. My channel that I started from the dirt, and I'll do whatever I want, okay? All right, we're going to get right into this because I'm only going to be an hour because I got to get up. I got to go take my mama. I got so much to do. I was supposed to have baked the cake already this morning, child. I haven't done none of that. How is everyone doing? Thank y'all for coming on in here. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started reading this transcript. Thank you to everyone that you guys have let me know that you want me to read all of this transcript, and I will be reading the full court transcript from the Tim Norman trial. And if you don't want to hear it, don't watch me, don't listen. Let's get into it. Let's go. Here we go. Y'all ready? All right. We left off on page, looks like it says 70 up there, 68 here. Okay, here we go. Now, this is still the attorney talking to Tim. This is direct examination, meaning his attorney is questioning Tim. It says, okay, and I want to call your attention to October the 7th of 2014, okay? He says, Did Wally come to your apartment at 275 Union that day? Yes, sir. Who else was present? It was myself, Andre, and then my baby son. Of course, Dre didn't know that they was plotting against him, okay? Let's not be stupid, people. When you see ignorant lies and hear stuff that you know are lies, you have to use your critical thinking skills and say, I know this ninja line, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, so Wally is there. You said Andre Montgomery? Yes, sir. Your baby son, little Tim. How old was little Tim at the time? At that time, he was like 3 or 4. And you, of course, were home. Yes, sir. And was this a prearranged meeting with Wally? Yes, sir. Do you have not exact, but do you have sort of any recollection about what time you guys might have met? It was afternoon. So maybe around 4 or 5. So the evening, 4 or 5-ish or so. Okay. And do you know how Wally got there? He drove his car. Okay. And do you know how Andre got there? Well, Andre was in the meeting. He already had his own apartment right down the hallway. So like I said, his apartment was 2 doors down from mine. So I think me, Andre, and Timmy had all got to the building at the same time. We went to take Timmy to play at McDonald's or something like that. So let's focus on this meeting. First of all, let's kind of describe the layout of your place. So did you have to take an elevator? Would everyone have had to take an elevator to get up there? Yes. Ms. Dennis, objection, relevance. The objection is sustained. Judge, I'm trying to lay a foundation for a meeting. It doesn't have anything to do with an elevator. Pose another question, counsel. You know what? Judge Ross is sick of Attorney Leonard. Okay, hold on. Let me see what y'all saying over here. Can y'all see that Judge Ross is sick of Attorney Leonard? The questions he's trying to ask, okay? I see we got a troll up in here, some type of freaky deaky site. I know the moderators have probably already zapped that. Make sure y'all hit this like button, okay? Because, baby, if you don't catch me live, you can catch the replay. I know it's the holidays, and for those that celebrate the holidays, you're probably busy doing your own thing right now. So, baby, you can always come back and watch the replay, which is what you guys do, and y'all run my views up, okay? And they hate it. All right, let's get back to it. The court says, pose another question. Here comes Mr. Leonard. Once you got in the unit, were there 3 floors? Yes, sir. There is 3 floors in my apartment. Okay, and when you came in that door to get to the place where Andre Montgomery met with Wally, which way would you have to go? Well, you come into the apartment and then you hit a left and then you go down a small hallway, and then to the right, there is a dining room table, couch, and then to the left would have been the kitchen. Okay, I'll try to break that down a little bit. He says, I'm sorry. So you came in the door, you go to your left. Yes, sir. You come in the front door and you make a left go down a smaller. I want to go one at a time, okay? That's Tim. So look, guys, I want you all to remember, this is September of 2016, earlier this year. We have transported ourselves back into the courtroom because we were not able to attend the court when it was in live session. So we are recreating it. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. But we are doing that over here. That's what we're doing over here on my channel. Okay, let's continue. Where was I? He says, okay, and you make a left turn and there's the kitchen. Yes, sir. The kitchen is to the left. All right. And was there a kitchen table in that area? Yes, sir. And who was sitting at the kitchen table on October the 7th? It will be Wally and Andre primarily. Okay. Now, what were you doing throughout the meeting they were having? I was letting them talk. And I was pretty much running around with Timmy. You know, you were doing things around the house and Timmy was running around. Okay. And so you would be sort of pop in for the meeting and out, pop for the meeting and pop out. Yes, sir. And how long would you say that Wally was there at your house sitting at the kitchen table with Andre Montgomery? About 45 minutes to an hour. Did Wally have applications for insurance with him? Yes, sir. Were you an insurance agent at that time? No, sir. I'm an insurance agent. I have an insurance license that I've had since 1996. I'm what you call grandmother then. I don't even have to take any more educational hours, honey. Do you need some health insurance or some life insurance? Holla at your girl, Pete. Okay. Did you have an insurance application? No. Did Andre? No. All right. And did you watch when you were popping in and out? Did you watch Wally writing stuff down on those applications? Yeah. He was talking to Andre, and him and Andre were kind of filling out. Well, Wally was writing, and Andre was talking to him, telling him he was asking Andre questions. Okay. It wasn't Wally asking you questions, was it, sir? No, sir. It was Wally asking Andre questions. Correct. And were you hearing that Andre was verbally responding? Yes, sir. And when you understood that you would be what's called the owner of the policy, is that correct? Yes, sir. And Andre would be the insured, correct? And your understanding was who would pay for the premiums? I would. And before you got to the meeting, did you have any concerns about Andre not knowing about any of the features of the policy? Yes, sir. Explain that. I didn't want Andre to know that this was kind of like a bank account that he can pull money out of. The way it was explained to me that the insurance policy, as you pay into it, you can pull money out of it when you needed to. I didn't want Andre to understand he can pull money out of it like a bank account, because we had a bank account for him before and that didn't work too good. You would be the guy paying the premiums, right? Yes, sir. And you didn't want Andre taking the money you are putting into the policy. Well, he was the insured. Yeah, I don't want Andre to know that he could pull money out of the policy. Y'all know what? Tim is something else. Like I said, we're only going to read an hour. So this is direct examination of Tim Norman from the trial. Mr. Leonard is questioning Tim. Apparently, there was a meeting with Wally and Tim at Tim's apartment regarding the insurance policy. But look, guys, we all know, well, he's been found guilty, but we still want to go over the testimony because we were not there. Okay. Evidently, there was a meeting, but they didn't tell Andre. They made up all these lies. They pretended that Andre had went and had physicals and all this type of stuff. It's just a hot mess. It's a hot mess to see. Wally didn't ever testify. It says, okay, any other concerns, anything else you didn't want him to know, or was that pretty much it? No, that was the main thing. And were there any times where Wally had to get you involved when he was questioning Andre? No, I just had to sign it. I signed it. Okay, did Andre have to sign as well? Yes, sir. Okay, do you remember how many different documents Wally had you guys sign that day? I remember it was one. I signed one document at the time. Okay, would you know how many documents Andre signed that day? No, it was a bunch of papers where he called me over and said, Tim, sign here. And I just signed what he told me to sign. Boy, quit lying. Did you understand that you had to sign because you would be the owner of the policy? Yes, sir. And you would be the guy that was paying the premiums? Yes, sir. I gave him my banking account info too. Okay. And you actually had to give that to him like a day or so later, right? Yes, sir. All right. And then at some point later, you had to start paying premiums for the insurance for the policy for Andre. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And you had no problems doing that? No. Did you ever have Andre pay the premiums? No, sir. Okay, was there any doubt in your mind that Andre Montgomery knew he was sitting down with an insurance agent to fill out an insurance application? Here comes Ms. Dennis. Objection calls for a legal conclusion. The objection is sustained. Mr. Leonard rephrases the question. He says, I want to move forward a little bit before we look at any of the documents and talk about the March 2016 time period, okay? Yes, sir. And do you understand, don't you, that Andre Montgomery was K on March 14, 2016? Yes, sir. Okay, I want to talk about a little bit of that, the events leading up to that. First of all, in March of 2016, it still won't? Did you try it again? Okay. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. Okay. It says here, I lost my spot. Okay, I want to talk about a little bit of that. The events leading up to that. First of all, in March of 2016, just from a financial perspective, you had already told us that you are the owner of certain Sweetie Pie's restaurants. Were you now the owner of an additional Sweetie Pie's restaurant? Ms. Dennis. Objection. Relevance. The objection will be overruled. You can answer that, sir. Okay, so Tim can answer that. Let me see. Okay, we got 100 people in here. Thank y'all for showing up. You know, it is the Friday before Christmas, so I expect a lot of you guys to be doing Christmas things or whatever with your family. So I appreciate you taking time out to come and listen to me read some of this transcript to you. We're only going to read it for an hour. So we got about 40 more minutes. Okay, so there's going to be several parts to this. Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we can do that over here. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. All right, here we go. Tim says, yes, sir. By this time, then Mr. Leonard says, we will go one at a time, okay? So we already talked about the fact that had one and you had one. We talked about the money from that. And what I'm talking about from 2014 until we get to March of 2016, were you now the additional owner of another Sweetie Pie's restaurants? Yes, sir. How many? I opened one in North Hollywood, California. I also opened one in North County, St. Louis on Lindbergh, which is a drive-through location. Okay, I don't want to bore anybody, but can you just tell me in total how much extra cash or income was coming into you as a result of being the owner of two more places? The Lindbergh store was about half the size of Mangrove, and so that would be around $25,000 a week. And then the North Hollywood store, which was a different city totally, that would be like another $40K. Yeah, but you were living above your means. You were tricking on Terica, buying those fancy watches that I had never seen before, child. Okay. All right. Money too, right? He says, yes, sir. He says money to you, right? So that's about $65K a week. Then he says, all right. And where in March of 2016, where was your sort of primary residence at that point in time? In Los Angeles. And where in particular did you live? In Hollywood. And were you filming the show in Los Angeles at that time? Yes, sir. Would you have to come back to LA to St. Louis at all in 2015 and 2016 time period? Well, we know one time you went in 2016. Don't we know that, y'all? Yes, sir. All of the time, every week. He says, why? The restaurants were closed on Monday. All of the restaurants were closed on Monday. So that was the day and the only opportunity I had to try and get into town, clean out the safes while the restaurants were empty, do the banking, and then get back to California in order to film. So we wouldn't film on Mondays just for that simple fact that the restaurants were closed and I had to go back to St. Louis. Okay, and just a ballpark estimate, in 2015 and 2016, how often would you have come back from LA to St. Louis to take the money out of the safes? At least every other week. If it wasn't every week, it was every other week. So within a monthly basis, sometimes 3 times a month. Okay, and you would fly back and forth. Yes, sir. All the time? He says, always on a Sunday and a Monday. I think you mentioned something that the show didn't film on Mondays to why you did that. Correct. So since the restaurants, this is Tim talking, correct. So since the restaurants were closed on Mondays, we did something called pickup interviews, where if you watch TV, someone is sitting in front of the camera just talking to the camera. We did that on Mondays, except for me, because I would have to leave out of town. So the film crew knew that I would go back to St. Louis to take care of business. Everybody else in the production filmed their work, and I would do mine on another day. He says, okay, and the woman that testified here today, Miss Calvert, is she the one who arranged your schedule so you wouldn't have to be there on Mondays? Yes, sir. Now let's talk about Andre Montgomery coming back to St. Louis in March of 2016, okay? Oh, my. What are y'all saying over here? Keisha, you made it to court? Hi, sugars. Y'all let me, I had to get an Uber to court today. As long as you made it, honey, you can always catch the replay too, okay? As long as you are enjoying me reading these transcripts, okay? Thank you all so much for supporting me. All right. I appreciate it. Okay, Books is still in here. Okay. St. James. Shout out to anybody who's in here from the Lou. I appreciate it, okay? I do. All right, let's get back to it because like I said, we're only going to read an hour, so I don't want to waste time. I see Queen still in here blowing that smoke. Queen, child, I know the feeling, girl. Tommy probably blowing smoke now. Okay, let me get back to it. Okay. He says, so Tim says, yes, sir. So you saw the text the government put up there where Big Ed said he saw Andre in a Sweetie Pie's restaurant. Yes, sir. And did you receive a copy of that from Ed? Yes, sir. When you received a copy from Ed on March 6th of 2016, where Ed sent you a text with a picture of Andre, how long had it been approximately when you had last actually seen Andre physically in person? I guess about 9 or 10 months or so. Okay, and when you got the text from Ed, were you surprised? Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, right. Okay, could you put up the government's exhibit permission to publish the court? It is admitted. He says, thank you, Judge. Mr. Norman, I'm showing you what has been admitted into evidence as government exhibit 2E. Do you see that? I've already showed you guys that, okay? Says, yes, sir. Is that the text of Andre at one of the stores that Big Ed Chandler sent to you? Yes, sir. And if we look in the middle of the picture of the text, indicating, is that the depiction of Andre Montgomery essentially from behind? Yes, sir. Okay, and you can see his figure in that picture, right? You have to say yes or no. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Tell me how he looks different, if at all, than he did when you filled out the insurance application in the fall of 2014. He's bigger. Be more specific. I mean, he is a teenager. He is sprouted. This is 10 months later, man. So he put on a lot of weight and gained a couple of inches. Okay, when he came back from Texas in the fall of 2014, was he pretty skinny? Yes, sir. This is not a skinny guy, is it? No. If you can scroll down to the response, and there is other people depicted with Andre, indicating for instance, there is a female. Were you familiar with her? No, sir. Okay, could you scroll down? Okay, now can you publish that? You obviously received a copy of that. He says, he told him to say yes. He says, when you received a copy of that, did you decide you wanted to go and K him? No, sir. When you received a copy of that, did you decide I want to go harm him? No, sir. Do you still have love in your heart for him? Did you still have love in your heart for him at that time? Yes, sir. Did you jump on a plane on March 6th and fly here so that you could K him? No, sir. Did you jump on a plane at all until another week? No, just my normal schedule. Okay, you kept your normal schedule and came here to St. Louis to open the safes to get the cash on the 13th or the 14th, right? Oh, did you really? He says, correct. No change? No, sir. Mr. Leonard, could you put up the white Chris one? The court. Counsel, while you are pulling that up, maybe this is a good time to take a break. Mr. Leonard, great, Judge. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, we are going to take a very short recess and let you stretch your legs and get a drink of water. I'll remind you, chat, of what I tell you at each recess or adjournment. Don't talk to anyone about the case. Keep an open mind about the case until it is finally given to you to decide. He's talking to the jury, guys. Don't do any independent research of any kind into the issues. If you will leave your notebooks there on the chair, we will take 10 minutes. We will be back. We will be in temporary recess. So at 11:12 a.m., the proceedings stood in temporary recess. Here's the court. Counsel, for scheduling purposes, my intent is we'll bring the jury back in 10 minutes, and then we'll go until about 12:30 and probably take a break for lunch. Mr. Leonard said, thanks, Judge. Okay, so we're going to let y'all have a lunch break too, all right? The court says we'll be in temporary recess. So at 11:30 on this day, guys, the proceedings resumed in open court. They came back. It says, the court, Mr. Norman, I remind you that you are still under oath. He says, yes, sir. Then the court says, counsel, you may proceed with questions of the witness if you will identify the exhibit number. Okay, so they're getting ready to show that other exhibit. Let me see what y'all saying over here. Yeah, I'm not leaving Cali. They have all that crazy weather out there. Okay. Yes, thank you, kids. Y'all can always feel free to support the channel in any way. I don't come out here saying that hit the cash app, give me a super chat, do whatever you like. But thank you to everyone who has supported me via Cash App rather than supporting the GoFundMe account. You guys are always doing that. Thank you so much because you enjoy your privacy. All right. Let me put my glasses on. I can't really see that. We are blessed to have PP buy this with our own money. You better know it because it wasn't free, baby. PP, does Tim stay in the courtroom during this time? I'm not sure. What did you see? Did you see him get up and leave since you in court, girl? I can't remember. All right, let me get back to reading this because, like I said, we're only going to read an hour. Okay. Here it is, Mr. Leonard. Yes, permission to publish Government 67. And the Government Exhibit 67 was admitted in evidence. You may. Mr. Norman, before we get back to the evidence of March 2016, I was remiss in failing to show you this one exhibit. So this is Government 67. This is a summary of the insurance policies with respect to Andre. I have a couple of questions about each one. Now, I want to know that Andre know about each of these policies. This is something that should have been answered in court. So we're going to see. So Tim says, yes, sir. The AmeriCorps policy, did you fill out that application? No, sir. The AmeriCorps application, did you submit it? No, sir. The Foresters application, did you fill it out? No, sir. Did you submit it? No, sir. The Royal Neighbors application, did you fill that out? No, sir. Did you submit it? No, sir. The United of Omaha application, did you fill that out? No, sir. Did you submit it? No. The Capital Life Liberty, did you fill out that application? No, sir. Did you submit it? No. All of that was done by Wally. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Oh, he tried to pin it all on Wally. Mr. Norman, calling your attention back to March of 2016. I think you saw it in the government's case. We will put it back on the screen. Did you receive a text message from Chris Carroll, who has been referred to in this trial as White Boy Chris or White Chris? Yes, sir. White Boy Chris. No Limit Chris is what they called him on the yard, okay? Mr. Norman, I'm showing you, Lavelle told me that. Mr. Norman, I'm showing you what has been marked as government's 2F. It is admitted. Mr. Norman, I'm showing you what has been admitted into evidence as government's exhibit 2F. You are familiar with this text exchange with Mr. Carroll. What did you call him? Big Chris? Okay, because there was a little Chris. There was a little Chris too. Little Chris from Boys in the Hood, what? Okay, but you knew that some people call Chris Carroll White Boy Chris or No Limit or Big Boy. Yes, sir. And if you look at these texts, you have one that's from March 6th of 2016 at 5:41 a.m., right? Yes, sir. It is just okay. You have to say yes or no. Yes, sir. Is that your text or his text? The blue is myself. Okay. And so he texted you a few times on March 6th, right? Yes, sir. And ultimately, a number of hours later, you responded in blue, right? Correct. And you say, I'm alive. Correct. All right. And then the text is from Mr. Carroll to you at 9:43. It says, you know, I ain't calling twice in a row for nothing, right? Yes, sir. And then you respond, there is 2 ones in blue. We read these. If you guys remember, we read all of the text messages. You say, I see Ed just sent pics. Yes, sir. If you can scroll down and you are referring to Big Ed Chandler, who has sent you the text on March 6th. Correct. And your next text to White Boy Chris or Chris Carroll was Norvell at work? Yes, sir. Anywhere in there did you say anything about getting Andre or trying to get on Andre? No, sir. You ask about Norvell. Yes, sir. Who is Norvell? Our other cousin and a manager as well. Why were you concerned or care about Norvell in a response to this text? Ms. Dennis, objection, relevance, Your Honor. The court says the objection is sustained. That means that Mr. Leonard has to rephrase his question. So he says, and was Norvell a worker at the company at the time? Yes, sir. Why are we here? It says, where are we here? Okay, so you asked about Norvell, and then Mr. Carroll says, give me a call, right? Yes, sir. And what did you two discuss when you called him? Norvell was, Ms. Dennis, objection, calls for hearsay. Let me tell you something. Now, this is coming from a federal trial. You see, when he got ready to repeat stuff about Norvell and what he thought, that's hearsay. You can't be going around repeating stuff that you know not to be true just because somebody told it to you. It's hearsay, according to Judge Ross. Okay, let's get back to this. All right. The court, the objection is sustained. So he changes his question. How long did that call go with Mr. Carroll last? How long did that call with Mr. Carroll last? About 5 minutes or so. Did he say anything to you during the call about trying to harm or K. Andre Montgomery? No, sir. Ms. Dennis, objection, calls for hearsay. The objection will be overruled. He says, so the witness says, no, sir, it was about restaurant stuff. Mr. Leonard, Okay, here comes a question by Mr. Leonard. Okay, did Chris Carroll say anything at all about Andre during that call? No, sir. Just a few foundational questions about Chris Carroll. Uh-huh. You were familiar with him prior to March of 2016? Yes, sir. Is it fair to say he started working for Sweetie Pies in 2015? Approximately, yes, sir. And in 2015, what location or locations was Chris Carroll working at? Chris pretty much managed all of the St. Louis stores. He was manager over them all. So, okay, Tim on 25, Tim says Chris pretty much managed all of the St. Louis stores. Mike says he was manager over them all. Yes, sir. Did he have any sort of home base where he had an office or anything like that? He was mainly at the Mangrove store. And because of that position, did you communicate with him on a regular basis? Yeah, hundreds of times a day. Okay. Not just one time a day. Yes, sir. Oftentimes a day. Yes, sir. About what kind of stuff? Well, at the time, he was managing about 5 locations for us. So I had to constantly stay in contact with him. This person didn't show up. This person did this. It was always an issue with restaurants. At any time between when he started in 2015 and when he sent you those texts in 2016, did he ever say anything to you at all about trying to harm or K. Andre Montgomery? No, sir. Did he ever say during that time period anything to you about paying money or paying money to Travell Hill or anybody to have Andre Montgomery K? No, sir. So let's fast forward. Is it correct that you flew out here from LA and got here a little bit after midnight on March 14th? Correct. And you saw the text where it looks like you arrived at the St. Louis airport from the government, right? Yes, sir. And did you need a ride from the airport to the rental car place? Yes, sir. Who gave you the ride? Chris did. Anything unusual about that? No. Usually Chris or Ed would pick me up from the airport. Okay, so either Chris or Big Ed usually picked you up at the airport. Yes, sir. Again, remind us, why were you here? Why were you coming in town on March 14th, a little bit after midnight? I usually come in every Sunday to start cleaning up the safes at the ATM machines. Did Chris Carroll give you a ride anywhere? He drove me to the rental car place, and then he followed me to the hotel to make sure I got there safely. Did you ever have safety concerns when you came in here? Miss Dennis. Objection, relevance, Your Honor. The objection is sustained. So he rephrases the question. And when you saw Chris Carroll that night, did you talk to him about anything to do with the K of Andre Montgomery? No, it was regular restaurant stuff. Or harming Andre Montgomery? No, sir. Or paying someone to do that? No. And after did you get a car or a truck from the rental place? I think it was a truck. And where did you go next after you picked up your rental car? Where did you go next? I went to my hotel at the Chase Park Plaza, the infamous Chase Park Plaza. Now, y'all remember, the lobbyist did us a whole reenactment. He went to the Chase Park Plaza. Now, we all know the story because we're reading this after the fact, but this is his testimony. We didn't know everything he said. We only had bits and pieces. Oh, my. What y'all saying over here? Order in the court. Miss Vicky, who's the bailiff? Okay, Miss Vicky, you're going to be the bailiff. Okay, you're going to be the main bailiff. Keisha is the coordinator of the whole courtroom stuff. Okay? Kids, if she chilling, she going to manage all of it, all right? Okay, let's get back to this because we've been reading. We got 20 minutes left. I don't want to waste time running my mouth. He says, I went to the Chase Park Plaza. The Chase Park Plaza here in St. Louis? Yes, sir. Had you been there before? All of the time? Yes, sir. A place that you frequented sometimes? Yes, sir. Would it be typically where you'd have sex with women? Oh, child. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness. And where is the Chase Park Plaza located in town? Wait a minute. No, he didn't. You know what? Look at number 24. I'm not going to read it again. So it says, and where is the Chase Park Plaza located in town? It is the Central West End across from Forest Park and actually 2 streets over from my apartment. And did you eventually get into your local room, your hotel room? Yes, sir. Now, we are talking sometime in 2, 3 o'clock a.m. time period, something like that. He says, correct. Did you attempt to contact anybody at that time? Yes, sir. I text Lexi or Terica. Oh, Lexi, here comes the woman. Hold up. I gotta. Y'all know how I feel about that hell fall. Hold on, y'all. Here comes the entrance. So he texts Lexi. He texts Miss Terica. You know, she lured Andre. Was it not for she lured Andre? She just followed him around town and gave his, told where he was at all times. And then Loco lied in wait. Y'all know the story. Okay. Yes, sir. I text Lexi or Terica. Okay, you sent a text to Terica? Yes, social media. When you reached out to Terica from your hotel here on the 14th, did you use Facebook? Yes, sir. Did you even have her phone number at the time? I didn't. Could you pull that up? Government's 20. You saw this exhibit before. I'm sorry. Permission to publish. Government's 20, which is submitted into evidence. Exhibit 29. Sorry, John. I'm not good with numbers. Mr. Norman, you have seen this exhibit before in the government's exhibits in this case, right? Yes, sir. Government's exhibit 29 that has been admitted into evidence, correct? Does this reflect your attempt to contact Terica when you arrived sometime after midnight from the Chase Park Plaza? Yes, sir. And why are you reaching out on Facebook versus her phone? I saw a flyer on Facebook. I didn't have her number, so I just DM'd her. Okay, when you say DM'd, direct message. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you for the Cash App, Julia. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I do appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hold on. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to do this real quick. I want to thank you. Okay, let me get back to reading because, honey, this is getting good. How much time we got? We're going to only do an hour. See, we're going to go for 1 hour and just we're going to show you how to do this here. 1 hour. It don't take 5 hours, okay? All right. I'm old school, so direct messenger by Facebook. Yes, sir. Because you didn't have her phone number. Correct. Does she respond? Yeah, hours later. And with her phone number? Correct. All right. Now, before we get into the business of Miss Ellis that happened that night, I want to ask you some questions about how you knew her. Yes, sir. Approximately how long prior to March of 2016 did you meet Miss Ellis? Probably around 2009. And what was the context where you first met her back in 2009? I met her at a strip club in East St. Louis, a place called Bottoms Up. And y'all know, hold on. Y'all know, we know about Bottoms Up because shout out to the lobbyist. She took us on a whole little tour of Bottoms Up, okay? In East St. Louis. Shout out to the Lou. Shout out to the Lou. All right. Okay, it says, you met her that night, and did you guys have any sexual encounter or do anything outside the club? Oh, no, not that night. No, sir. Okay, and then kind of fast forward us. How many weeks or months go by until you have any sort of sexual encounter with Miss Ellis? Probably about a month and a half or 2 months. So we are still in which year? We are still in 2009. Child, was he with Janae in 2009? In 2009, okay. And in 09, when you are having a sexual encounter with her, is that prior to the TV show coming out? Yes, sir. And from 09 until when the show comes out, just remind us, what's the first date that it is on air? I think it first aired in 2011. We started filming it in 2010. Okay, so let's just focus on that time period from 09 when you first had sex with Miss Ellis until 2011. Give us your best estimate of how often the two of you would get together for sex. Oh my goodness. Before the show, I probably see her about once every 2 months or so. Was it free? Oh no, sir. Wait a minute, y'all. Oh my goodness. Child. Well, okay. I have no comments. Let me just continue to read. Was it free? Oh no, sir. And in those days before the show, how much did you have to pay? I usually give around 250 or 300 or so. So why would you all of a sudden give her 10,000 for some cootie pop? I got cootie pop from Trina on the Braxtons. You know, she was the first one I heard say that. Why he go from paying her $250 to $300 to all of a sudden $3,000 for some cootie pop? Okay. And then let's move forward. The show comes out in 2011 or thereabouts, right? Correct. Did you still continue to have sex from time to time with Miss Ellis? Yes, sir, but I slacked up, backed off a little bit. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. This part here is just weird. Okay. Less frequently? Yes, sir. Why? I mean, me being on TV, I had to be more cautious with being seen and being out with different girls like that. We had a family show, so I couldn't be out in the strip clubs and things like that. Okay, so you had to be more discreet. Yes, sir. But that cootie pop kept calling his name. Okay. And when you had sex with her after the TV show started, was it free? No, sir. You had to pay, right? Yes. And what was the cost now? The cost went up since I was on TV. Then I started giving her like 700 to 1,000. You know, depending on what and it went up. The price of success? Yes, sir. Y'all hear this? Oh my goodness. Now let's fast forward to March of 2016 when you see her at the Chase. About how many months had it been since you had last seen her? It was 6 months, easy. Okay, maybe more. Did you have an understanding of at that time in March where she was living? Yeah, Lexi she stayed in St. Louis, Memphis, and Atlanta at the time. She was between a lot of different cities. For purposes of what? She danced in other cities. Prior to March of 2016, apart from the money you had to give her for sex, did you give her other money? Yeah, sometimes she would ask me hit me up for money a lot. And you kind of say yes. I was in a position where I could. So if anybody asked me for help, I would give it to them. And prior to March of 2016, how often would she hit you up for money that wasn't for sex? Man, well, maybe once every 4 months or so. And what type of figures would she ask for you? What type of figures would she ask for you that you would give her? It would be smaller figures. I give her $500 here, maybe 700. You know, my rent is due or my phone is about to get cut off, things like that. Okay. And did you sometimes send her money in response to her request by Western Union? Yes, sir. So she would ask for money and you would have to go to the Western Union for money. And it wasn't for sex, right? Yes. This was before Cash App and all that other stuff. All right. And any clue, if you are telling me speculation, don't tell us. But do you have an estimate of how many Western Union MoneyGrams you had to send her during that time period before March of 2016? Man, I can't really give you accurate, probably about 4 or 5. Okay, let me see. We're on page 96. Hold on. What time mark are we at? Okay, we still got 10 minutes. All right. What y'all saying over here? He was paying. He was paying for something. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Deborah, Power Dynamics, Boss Lady. Okay. Okay, here we go. And you had no problem doing that? No. Now let's get to your hotel room, Chase Park Plaza, March 14th, 2016. Yes, sir. Approximately what time does Miss Ellis arrive? I think it was like 9 or 10. It was early in the morning. It was in the morning the next day, actually. All right. And I think you heard her say it. Did you have sex? Yes, sir. Was it free? No. Did you have to pay? Yes, sir. And did you have to pay all for sex, or what did you pay her for? Could you rephrase that? Sure. Yeah. Was there a charge towards you in advance, like, hey, it is going to be this moment, it is going to be this amount? I don't know how this works. Did she tell you in advance? It's kind of like, I kind of already know. It is kind of. So it's going to be about how much. So it is going to be about how much in your mind. Like I said, usually I have given her anywhere from like $700 to $1,000. Okay, so you had sex and then you guys took showers. Was that individually? Yes, sir. And then when you are done taking your showers, you are still sitting around the hotel room. Correct. Sort of hanging out. Yes, sir. And did you converse with her during that period of time? Yeah. We just started making small talk. Small talk. I hadn't seen her in a while. We will get into that. Okay. So you start talking to her, right? Yes, sir. What does she tell you about what's going on with her? Like I said, she is originally from Memphis. So she told me she was trying to open a business. She just got a building. She is in the process of rehabbing it. She was about to open a clothing boutique. So we were talking about the process and troubles of rehabbing buildings because that's what I had to do at the restaurants. She was telling me she is about to come out to LA, as a matter of fact, for our fashion district to get clothes for her new boutique down in Memphis. Was there any discussion about money in connection with the boutique? She hit me up for money to help open the business. And how much did you give her to do this boutique that she would be later coming to LA to shop for? So, okay, what they're doing here, they're trying to say that he was giving her money to open that business, and she only went to LA right after Dre lost his life because she was going to purchase clothes from the fashion district. Okay, but we ain't stupid, and we ain't going, and neither did the jury. All right. He said, I gave her an extra $2,000. Okay, so you gave her a total of $3,000. Yes, sir. So in your mind, $1,000 is for sex. And $2,000 is for the boutique that she just hit you up for. Yes, sir. Did she talk about her child at all when you were hanging out talking? Yeah, she has a daughter. She used to always keep her pretty frequently when I see her. And I have a son. So we talk about each other's kids and how they are growing up. And then got to talking about her mom as well, her family. Okay. And is it fair to say that sometime prior to this, she had met your mother? Yes, sir. And how many years ago would that have been? I mean, when I first met her, after I met her at the strip club, she would go to the restaurant frequently. And so she would come in the restaurant all of the time. But she wouldn't tell that she was a stripper. No, she wouldn't tell that. They are just different girls in the restaurant. Okay, so getting back to the hotel room, as you just said, she talks about the boutique. She hits you up for some cash. You agreed to give her $3,000. Then what did you tell her about your life? I told her, I was opening new restaurants in Los Angeles. And I explained to her that we talked about our parents, like I said. And then I told her about what happened, her house, and this, that, and the other. So we are talking about that and looking for Drake. And just kind of went through the motions, explaining to her what happened with Drake. And then I showed her a picture of him. She said, I know the little dude. She said, I just seen him. Okay, let's go back. That's a mouthful. Okay, so you explained to her for the fact that you and your family had been looking for Drake. Correct. You explained to her about the house and that you had been making efforts to locate him. Yes, sir. And were you asking her to keep an eye out, or just kind of talking about your life? Once we got to talking about it, and then I showed her a picture, and she said, I just seen the little dude. I didn't believe her at first. She said, yeah, I've been talking to him. I was like, let's stop there. So you show her a picture of Andre, and she says, yeah, I have seen that dude. Yes, sir. Were you surprised? Yeah, I was surprised. You're lying. It is a small world. Did you believe her initially? No, I didn't. Okay. And then what clinched the deal? What made you think she was telling you the truth? She texted him. She started texting him. Okay. And she is texting him while you are there? Correct. So did that cause you to believe that she really did know your nephew, Andre Montgomery? Yeah, I started believing her then. Oh, she just really, you set poor Andre up, girl. You the main boy. Okay. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? St. Louis under the prison. East St. Louis is in Illinois. St. Louis is considered the loop. Okay. So East St. Louis is in Illinois. Okay. Of course, because he was plotting. Yes, he was. If you are a stripper, you do have to pay to have sex with someone. Yes. That's why Janae was that crazy when women would come around. Child. Because he had a lot of them, didn't he? He had a lot of them. Okay. We're going to stop right here, guys, on page 101. Okay? Because it's been an hour and I got to go. I got to go take my mama. Y'all know it's a busy weekend. And I said I would do hour shows. So we're going to have a lot of parts because we have over 200 pages to get to. And then we're going to be reading Terica and Trevel's testimony, as well as Ms. Greer. We're going to read all of them. So I hope you guys, if you all are liking this, please put a 1 in the chat to let me know that you're interested in this. Okay? I'm going by what my people tell me that they want. And you guys want me to read these transcripts as far as I know. Okay? All right. I'm going to get ready to get off of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for this hour. I know it is it's the holiday season. Be of good cheer. Be of good cheer. There's no need for the hate. Thank you. There go the ones, baby. Y'all see them ones? Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to everyone that has been texting me every morning, wishing me well, telling me good morning. Thank y'all. You know who you are. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Shout out to the bailiff, Miss Vicky, and the coordinator of the chat of the courtroom, Miss Keisha, and Kizzy, the manager of it all. Okay. All right, guys. There go them ones. Thank y'all so much. I'm glad y'all are enjoying this. Now, remember, at all times, we must be on our. Thank you for the super sticker, Power Dynamics. Thank you so much, honey. Let me hold on, baby. I appreciate every penny because it's your money and you don't have to do it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. You guys have a rest of the good day. And I don't know if I'll come back. I have something that's scheduled. I don't even know how I'm going to do this, but I've got to get out and about now. But we're going to end it with this right here. Where is it? Hold on, guys. How am I trying to do this? I want to put up this right here. Then I'm going to come down here. And thank you guys so much. All right. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Long time, honey. But I know. Yeah. Store. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner. I say I got you. Well, just hold it down and keep it solid. And when you're not around, I protect your name. I won't talk about you. Everybody ain't your friend. It's been a long time. Long time, honey. But I know. Yeah. Store. Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody Everybody ain't your partner. I say I got you, I got you. Well, just hold it down and keep it solid. And when you're not around, I protect your name, I won't talk about you. Everybody ain't your friend. Fake love, I don't need it, you can keep it as a fact. Fake love, I don't need it, you can keep it as a fact.
Okay, guys, there is one last thing I want to say. I want to say congratulations again to Eat with Q on her marriage, the new Rivers Queen. Okay, you can find love in a totally different continent. Okay, be happy for her. It's her life, and she can do whatever she can do whatever she like. Okay, I'm happy for her, and I probably will be doing some more commentary on that because I can. I told you guys. I'm going to use, I have a voice too. I may not be as loud and as powerful as some others, but there's some things that I can say. And I will definitely do that because I certainly appreciate everyone who spoke out on behalf of enough is enough. Okay, Loca, Unspoken Purpose, UP. Y'all know the rest. Come on. So I appreciate that. And it is what it is. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Cowboys play tomorrow. Christmas Eve, we play the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Deonnie's team. We coming back for you, Deonnie. We gonna pluck them birds, okay? We already in the playoffs, and they did win the division. Gag me with the spoon, okay?